this show is like murder mystery, intrigue.
The Righteous
Like
Gemstones is murder mystery.
right, it's dude. It's literally, without giving too much away, I'll say it's about a bad guy who fell in love with a church girl, became a mega pastor, but his past didn't leave him.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'll watch that one. It's always it's been in my side view. I've just never had a chance to sit down and watch it.
But even with all of that, Walton Goggins is worth watching the show just by itself because fucking Uncle Baby Billy is one of the fucking funniest characters anybody has ever come up with in the history of cinema. I'm not playing. This dude is so fucking funny. Every line he delivers is fucking gold. It's like only thing I can compare it to is like listening to the dialogue from The Wire or from Tombstone. Like, remember the movie Tombstone, Val Kilmer, rest in peace?
Yes, sir.
Every line in Tombstone from either Wyatt or Doc Holliday. Yeah, Doc Holliday, but every line from Doc Holliday and from Wyatt Earp, it was like, that's gold. It was like, I know they was doing them shits in one take because it's like them dudes was just in the fugue state, as they say.
Yeah, they were in it.
Yeah, no.
Dude,
so no.
Did you add a giant fucking screen behind you? When did you do that?
That's been in here the whole time. I just moved the camera.
Oh, you just moved. Okay.
Yeah, I moved the camera to the other side. Yeah, no. I can't even. I was trying to.
That looks behind. That looks cool.
I was trying to set it up in a way where I can get the whole screen, but it's like, fuck it. Let me turn it off. Actually, it's gonna be more a distraction than anything. Look how long it take to go off. Probably need a new battery.
Are you wearing a Phoenix Sun shirt?
You say what?
Or is that the Phoenix?
No, this is Phoenix Mercury.
Phoenix Mercury, WNBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck?
It doesn't want to be turned off.
It's my old TV from my old house that I used to have sitting outside. So I think the functionality of it is fucked because it was an outside TV.
Fair enough. Well, I think that's enough of a cold open. Welcome back to Mad Take TV. I know it's been a while, but we are here. And to be in your ear about whatever TV shows that we're watching, talking about, we got to get caught up on Daredevil a little bit, I think. And then, I don't know, we might be discussing some other stuff. Little Righteous Gemstones conversation at the beginning. I might have to jump in and check that one out.
Oh, we were recording?
I just hit it a few seconds ago, right when you started, like not about midway through that conversation.
Oh, cool.
I just I wasn't sure if you were going down a road where it was going to be good or not, so I just hit the record button just in case.
Oh yeah,
or important.
Uncle Baby Billy, man, it's a show worth watching.
It's on the third season or second? Fourth season. Oh wow, so it's been going a while.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what else have you been watching? Anything else interesting since we've last? I know we've talked, but since we've last podcasted or last recorded anything?
Well,
honestly, the last podcast we did together was Severance, the finale. So
I watched. I had like about I want to say about 5 months ago, I started watching the Three Body Problem, the American version on Netflix, or the English version on Netflix, and I wound up quitting that like halfway through the first episode back then because it didn't really hold me. But I finished it, and
it was okay.
I got some thoughts, but I watched the first 2 seasons of The Righteous Gemstones. I'm actually towards the end of the second season right now, and I'm just keeping up with Abbott Elementary and Elsbeth, and I finished Silo for the second time, a full watch through, and I can't think of anything else I watched. It was something, but I can't really. Oh, I just started Black Mirror season 7 this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I have like, as you was talking, I was trying to think of anything else that I watched. Honestly, man, I just haven't since Severance. I haven't really watched anything really like worth talking about. Been watching Reacher with my wife, and I guess
Yeah, I got to catch up on Reacher.
it's pretty good. I do laugh at it sometimes because it can roll into the cheese factor sometimes, but it's a pretty good show. I like Alan Richson, and I hear a lot of fanfare about him being fan cast as the James Gunn's Batman, and I think that would be I like it actually. Even though like, he could just adjust the Reacher persona a little bit and be Bruce Wayne, like it wouldn't even really take that much. It's not even like that far of a leap. Reacher's a detective, isn't he? Basically, military
Yeah,
detective,
he's
military police.
military. He's a military detective,
So I mean, like,
a military investigator.
but also very fucking stoic and matter of fact, and you know, I just, I don't know. I think the part fits, and I wouldn't mind seeing that if that actually happened.
Yeah.
And he's kind of an up and comer too. He's not like a huge star. Like Reacher was his like big break, as far as I'm concerned. I know I've seen him in other stuff, but nothing huge. I do want to watch that the Ungentlemanly Warfare with.
That's an entertaining movie. It's dumb as a box of rocks, but
Well, it's Guy Ritchie, and that's Guy Ritchie directed probably one of my favorite films of all time is Snatch.
yeah. Well,
And he hasn't lived up to that since. I guess the Sherlock Holmes movies were kind of fun. I haven't really kept up with his filmography.
yeah. I'm gonna. No, I'll. No, well, it's a topic of discussion, so let's discuss it. I think Snatch is overrated. I don't.
I don't know. Every time I watch it, I like it. I have fun. It's one of those movies where I can just just repeat the fucking lines as they come and laugh at them. And I haven't seen it in a while, so I might feel differently watching it again. But I don't know. I enjoy that movie.
No, I think what it is for me, Guy Ritchie's directing style. It feels like
Oh, your audio just went out.
it's back.
Yeah, that went out
Yeah,
again. Oh,
I
there you
work
go.
up to the mic. I don't know. I don't want to ruin the broadcast by trying to adjust this now. I should have did it earlier. But anyway, no, I'm not a big fan of Guy Ritchie's style. Even though I did enjoy Snatch, I just didn't think it was like the earth-shattering piece of entertainment that people thought it was. Unironically, though, the the
Honestly, I didn't. The
gentleman
first time I saw it, I really didn't love it. It took me a few times watching it, like at home, to really like enjoy it, and like watching it with a bunch of other people and laughing at it and stuff like that. I guess that's kind of why it sticks with me. It
But
was
that ungentlemanly warfare movie, or I can't remember the exact title, but
me either.
I enjoyed it because it was for some reason it didn't. I guess I had a long enough break between Guy Ritchie movies. I think I tried to watch what was his Robin Hood movie, King Arthur, or something. I can't remember which movie he did. It was
I
like
think King Arthur with the guy from
like King
Sons of
Arthur.
Anarchy or whatever.
Yeah,
Was
it
he the
was
king?
that guy.
Yeah.
It was really good cinematography. They had a good visual language for the movie, but again, with that same style of this is my thing, this is how we're gonna do it. Everybody gonna get into a room and talk real fast, and it's like, yeah, that's only entertainment to a degree. It's like how many times do you listen to the same dialogue in the same way? But that's me. I'm crazy.
I mean, I don't think you're crazy for it. You're way more of a film buff than I am, so I do respect your opinion when it comes to
That guy called me a
like,
buff.
right. But Daredevil. What do we? I mean, we got. What is the last episode we discussed? I'm looking at the channel now. It's going to be episode 3. Holy shit! So what we got? 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. So we got 5 episodes. Holy shit, did we get that far behind? That sucks. But anyway, it is what it is. Life is what it is. And here we are now. So
Well,
so it goes.
if you can remember where we were in the show, I can pretty much remember everything.
Yeah, it'll be episode 4, which I think was the bank heist episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So
All right, I got everything fixed. Sorry, I'm back. My bad. It took a second. I forgot. I told you I fucking hate Discord, bro.
dude, with the way that you were just like, all right, I'm back. And the way you turned to look at the camera, like, okay.
I'm good.
That shit
But no,
made me laugh.
Discord is so stupid, man. I hate this damn app. But anyhow, no.
Discord is a very obtrusive app. It fucking plugs into a lot of things in your computer and fucking overtakes shit. It's a pain in the ass.
It's like, dude, I'm used to this. I like default here. I'm going down here to the Windows menu, switch from the Bluetooth speaker to my headphone, and it was like it is switched, and I'm like, I can't hear anything. I'm like, hit the test. I hit the test. I hear the doo-doo-doo. Completely forgetting that Discord is like, I rule everything.
Yeah, so, I overtake your computer.
Right. Like fucking Discord. But anyway, no, the last episode that we discussed on here was the bank robbery episode.
No, that was the hollow of his hand was the last episode we discussed. Why does that feel wrong? Man,
Title of my sex tape.
Yep, I guess so. So episode 4 is where we're at. So we did not discuss the bank robbery episode.
Okay, cool. All right.
Right.
Since we're 4 to 5 episodes behind, let's do it like this.
Go for it.
I'll do the episode 4, the bank robbery. And then you do the next episode.
The next episode, like episode 5 was like the Muse like reveal, right? Like in the first fight at the end, because that was the episode 4 and 5 were the episodes that were released together in 1 week.
Right.
So like we're only 4 weeks behind.
Okay.
5 episodes.
Yeah,
that's better.
The algorithm definitely will punish us for this. Hey, listen.
It is what it is.
Hey, look, we both had a lot to do, so it is.
You've been fucking busy too lately.
Yeah, that's what I said. We both had a lot to do. Yeah. So no, here's the thing. Episode 4, I believe, bank robbery episode. I do not remember the title, but here's a quick summary of said episode. Matt Murdock is looking for money because the law firm that he has started does not have the funding that it requires. He is going to the bank for a loan. He is turned down for the loan by Kamala Khan's father. Mrs. Marvel's father works at this bank. We get to see that there's a through line, and this is one universe. Again, they doing that whole connective tissue thing, kind of bringing all the properties back together. And this is one of the first, actual appearances from somebody outside of the Daredevil property. And then the bank is robbed, and Matt decides he heard the bank being robbed as he's walking away. So he decided to come back in the bank and play Matt. And he did what he did.
So, bad on me. I believe
he goes say it's the wrong episode.
It's the wrong episode. Episode 4 was the one where he. Sorry about that. This was the right trial of Hector Ayala begins. Okay, so wow. So 3. Oh no. Okay, episode 4 was the one we. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys. Bad. No, episode 3, the hollow of his hand, was the last one we discussed. So episode 4 was Six Semper Systema. Is the title of the episode? That was the one where he runs into Frank Castle.
Right.
So sorry about that. I
No,
apologize.
that's all good. So that episode was the gist of that episode was basically Matt starting to feel the immense pressure and guilt from the death of Hector Ayala, and feeling like the system is broken again, and basically going through a trial of faith where he's losing his faith at this point, and he's, you know, about ready to get on the road to do that thing. So he decides to go and seek out Frank Castle because there are police, corrupt police, running around with Punisher paraphernalia on their ammunition and on their body armor, and he
Fanboys.
decides he's gonna try to get Frank to spring into action against the NYPD. But Frank uh, does, unironically, this is what the actor John Barenthal actually does. He talks to people and he does like these impromptu therapy sessions on his little podcast. And he basically turned it around on Matt and let him know, like, hey, you're not here for me. You here for permission. You want me
That's exactly
to
why
make
you
you
went.
feel better about what you want to do.
About putting that
You know?
costume on and beating the fucking dog shit out of somebody.
Yeah, that's
Right.
just like you want to
He's
come to me so I can
It was a great
ease
line.
your, yeah. So it was a cool episode. As far as the action
Well, and
and
like when he found the bullet shell, like he like like did his little thing and like listened for the what did he drop something down the thing to see where it would
yeah,
roll, and like
yeah,
found the bullet shell.
yeah. I
And
thought it
that's
would
what
have been that was cool because he's a superhero, and I always have to remember and frame it like that. Like, but I think it would have been cooler if he would have walked over there and stuck his hand in and picked up a couple things first. But he like reached right in,
he went
like
right there and grabbed it. Bing.
like shell casing. I was like, wait a minute, bro. Like, you know it went in that hole, but you didn't know exactly where it was sitting. It's been like 3 days. It's like, what are we doing?
Right.
The fucking rat didn't walk past or nothing. Like, come on. But he's a superhero, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
But
they
no,
get
at
to
the end
do
of
things this regular folks can't do.
yeah, this is why I can't complain. So that's like I said, I just have to frame it in my mind so I won't find a reason to complain about it. But no, you had this is the same episode. I believe the young lady who would grow to be a thorn in my side and a needle in my brain stem. She came to claim her uncle's belongings from the morgue.
Yes, that's like where the episode opened.
Yes. Now, in the beginning of the episode, um, they handed it to Matt, and he essentially handed it to her, Ziploc with Ayala's
Medallion.
costume, and then the medallion. The medallion, and listen, people, this is important. The medallion in open court was claimed to have had mystical powers
It was.
that granted the wearer supernatural abilities. This is important. And then you'll understand why I hate this child, because you're not supposed to hate children, but I hate her. Just remember that, because we're gonna revisit that. We'll come back to that. But the point is, she is in possession of a supernatural artifact. She knows it's supernatural because they testified to it in open
In
court,
open
and
court, which she was probably in attendance of.
she was definitely in
Or
the
yeah.
attendance. So yeah. So anyway, so in this
So
episode,
she's gonna put on the
basically,
medallion, right? In season 2?
I'm assuming she is, but it's like the way they lead up to it was kind of stupid. But we'll get there. She she was the beginning of Matt's guilt trip. Matt is as a character, Daredevil as a character, he's a Catholic. So they're experts in guilt tripping. They're experts in self um deprecation. The whole Catholic guilt is a thing. That's why that phrase exists. So they write the character like that. But in order to and put more pressure on Matt you had the victim's niece basically come and lay that weight on his shoulders, firmly on his shoulders. Like when he tried to do the good thing and say, well, the police to do this, and she's like, but Mr. Murder, the police not doing anything. And it's like, okay. She was like, they might have been the one who killed them, so
Well, it was like so obvious. It was like one of those things that like everybody knows, but like you can't really
yes,
do anything about it.
It's like OJ didn't do it. Everybody knew it, but you couldn't really help him prove it. So the point is, she put that guilt on Matt, and Matt did what Matt does. He started feeling the pressure, and he wanted to wild out and do some crazy shit, but he couldn't really. I believe this is the same episode. We might,
Well, him
because
being
we all
known by the mayor now, who's very distinctly anti-vigilante, like he's having a hard time crossing that threshold because he knows he'll just get reported.
yeah, that part too. You got him and Fisk as counterbalances, actually trying to cancel each other's other halves out, which is I love the dichotomy of that because it's like these are two guys who's trying to play it straight. Literally two guys who are trying to play it straight, but their every instinct is to be on the other side of the law. So,
Right.
but like I said, we may kind of blur the lines between episodes because we're like four
Yeah, I was
behind.
thinking the same thing. It's fine. We're
But
just gonna like discuss
but
everything
eventually,
going on so far. Try to keep
yeah.
it in order, but yeah.
But eventually, Matt runs into there's a main corrupt cop. The guy he bruised up pretty bad. The guy from the platform who first accosted Ayala after
Why
they
can't I
was
think of his
beating up.
name? But yes, I know.
I can't think of his damn name,
Powell,
but he's
Officer
the
Powell,
main. He's the main bad guy, cop,
seemingly.
and
Yeah,
for
well,
now,
yeah, you're right. He's the one.
but
Besides, like Fisk, they put a
yeah,
couple other characters in there later.
no, but I'm saying as far as the police,
Yeah,
he's
you're
the
right.
main bad cop.
Right.
But Matt runs into him eventually, and he doesn't. They haven't made it like they haven't even hinted that he knows Matt is Daredevil. I don't think he even cares to even investigate anything like that. But he does know Matt gets physical. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they got this little back and forth thing that they keep doing, and Matt said something to him in passing in the courtroom hallway, and the guy actually pressed him, and it's like basically, I don't really give a fuck if you blind. If uh, not too many words. If you get in my way again, you know what I'm saying, I might have to do something to you. So yeah, so they building that tension there, and Matt is kind of constantly dipping his nose back into the fire, basically, because he wants the conflict. And I think the way that they're playing it, or the way they played it this early at this point in the season, I like the way it's done because it's not a thing where it's like bad thing happens, good guy spring into action. Most comic characters go that route. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bad thing happen, good guy spring into action. And then the conflict comes after that. Matt's conflict is before he has to spring into action. So
Right.
I love
Or
it.
the conflict is whether or not to spring into action in the form of Daredevil, or to whether to try to to do it
Yeah,
through
try to use
legal
the actual
processing.
law.
Right. And try to trust the system and because as a lawyer he did take the oath. He does have some sort of faith in the system.
Yeah.
His best
So yeah,
friend did. His best friends like had faith in the law. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So then it moves on to episode 5, which is the bank robbery episode that we were discussing out of order. That episode is titled "With Interest."
I just want to real quick
Sure.
say for anybody who hasn't watched it, if you're not up to date, go ahead and start it, and just understand that even though this is not the most consequential episode, it does have my favorite injury so far in the Daredevil series.
You're talking about the fight with the guy afterwards.
The last fight, the guy
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Jesus
So
Christ.
it's St. Patrick's Day in New York City. Matt gets caught. He gets caught in a hostage situation in a bank, and he he just kind of uses his abilities a little bit to try to like help people, make sure nobody gets hurt. He doesn't really do anything physical until the end. Or wait, he takes out the one guy, doesn't he? Like
He took
the
out, well, first of all, let's frame it right. Matt put himself in a hostage situation. Matt was about 2 blocks away from the bank
yes, you're
when the
right.
robber came in. Matt heard the bank being robbed and walked back to the bank, walked in and act like the typical helpless blind guy who just happened to stumble into the bank. And he decided they was gonna kick him out, and then he just, I think at some point he swapped. Once the
He
police got on the scene, he swapped out other hostages for himself so that he could stay.
Yeah, he like
Because
talked like a husband and he talked the robbers into letting like a husband and wife go
now
and
here's the
keep.
problem. Now here's the thing. Now this is what I want to say. This is what Matt shows a little bit of conniving nature. Uh, this is probably where some of that Catholic guilt comes from. Matt is a hero. Daredevil is a hero. His reason for staying, he approached I always want to say Kamala because of the ex vice president, but Kamala Khan's father, because this was the man who had just turned him down for the loan, even though they got along well, but Matt didn't have any kind of collateral for the bank to lend
Right.
against. So he knew that this was a good man and that his daughter was actually a superhero. Like they didn't hide that. It wasn't like a secret or anything. He didn't say that my
Well, and
daughter's a
she didn't really have
superhero.
a secret identity in the show either. Like everybody knew who she was, or didn't
Well,
they?
well, not really. And as I'm saying it, I'm realizing he never really said my daughter is a superhero. He just said that we have our own superhero.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
But
that is what
then
he
he
said.
kept talking about his daughter, and she was out in California or San Francisco, and he missed her. But Matt had made like a little bit of a connection with the guy. So this is the guy who holds the keys to the kingdom as it speaks. So Matt is there protecting him. Now, the way it was framed, what I got from it was that he was not just doing it because he was a hero, but he also felt like it could be influential in helping them get the loan that they wanted. I just felt like that. I don't,
Right.
so he was helping him, and the guy was like the bank manager wasn't in. Obviously the bank manager is the one who could open the vault. um the guy pretended to be the manager, and now he's in mortal danger because if he doesn't open the vault like the robbers want, they probably gonna want to shoot him. And Matt is like, okay, just keep lying, you already lied, I'm gonna walk you through it, we gonna get through this. So
Right. Yeah, because he lied to saying that he could open the vault when he didn't have that ability.
right, because he
Right.
was scared that he was about to shoot somebody.
Right. Showing that his heroic nature a little bit in the fact
Yeah,
that
and
he
also he helped Nick Fury with cats.
that was in Secret Wars,
No, that was in the Marvels.
the Marvels. I don't
Don't
think
do
I ever
that.
watched it.
Don't do that.
What?
We're not doing that. We
Doing
we
what?
gonna we gonna watch we gonna watch movies with Brie Larson in it.
Okay.
Tiana Paris and
And
Brie
that's
Larson.
fine. You realize she's kind of unlikable, right?
No, she's actually really dope. I like confident women. I married my supervisor.
Oh, I mean,
We've
I
been
have.
together for 25 years.
You've met my wife, right? I get it. I just,
I I default to being
okay.
attracted
I'm
to
sorry.
women.
Listen, that doesn't really have anything to do with it. I, she should have fucking introduced herself to Peter. Fuck that.
Oh my god.
Instead of just being like, okay, Peter, give me the fucking thing. Hey, Peter, I'm Miss Marvel. Wow, would that have been hard? Sorry, she came
Hey,
off a little bit assholish. I know she was
hey,
saving the day. I fucking get it.
hey,
Fine.
hey.
I just didn't
Peter's
like it.
been Peter's bitch ass should have been at home. He shouldn't have been out there. He was a liability on the field. He was
No, he
he was the
wasn't.
fucking
No, he
the
wasn't.
fucking Dickie.
He was in
He was the
auto
Dickie
kill mode
Simpkins.
right before that. He was at
He was the Dickie Simpkins of the Chicago Bulls championship run. Like it's just like we gonna bring you along with us, but just don't fuck this up. Just hit your free throws, get a couple rebounds, and sit your dumb ass down.
Stop it.
He was
You
the
fucking
only one
stop
in the
it.
middle of the war who had a panic attack. Listen, no. Anyway,
Whatever.
in all seriousness,
Right.
Kamala Khan's father was part of the action
The Marvels.
in the Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel sequel. Now he has a heroic nature to him. He's a father. He's a protector. Me and you both fathers. We know what that is. It's like your instinct is to protect. So he's trying to protect the people in the bank as well. He put himself in a line of fire in harm's way, and Matt is there to protect him. So basically, let's just run through this robbery situation real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They're not robbing the bank for money. They came there with a plan because they were hired to do this. They were there to go into a safe deposit box and retrieve a jewel.
Right.
They don't know what the jewel was for. They don't know why they were hired to do so, but these were the typical British accent robbers, British or Irish accent robbers.
They were
You get
Irish on St.
yeah,
Patrick's Day. Yeah.
yeah, and they real charismatic. Like they come in real. Everybody calm down. That shit. So it was that
He
typical.
was wish.com Clive Owen.
Yeah, I swear that's what Clive Owen. Side note: Clive Owen, favorite bank robber in any film. Man, Inside Man.
Inside Man.
One of my favorite bank
Fucking
robbery
great
movies.
movie.
He was the best bank robber
He
I've
was
ever
so
seen.
good. It was such a good movie.
He was too cool with it. So, but
Right.
this guy's like he said, he's the Timu Clive Owen. So it was a straightforward story. These guys wanted to rob the bank. They wanted to get into the safe deposit box to retrieve a jewel, and the plan was for them to get this thing and be gone. And the negotiator is doing the negotiating thing. He's doing the I'm cool and I know you're a negotiator and you trying to be on all that. It's the same typical shit they do in every movie and every TV show.
It was
Now, it was all cut and dry. It was all like
100%.
cut and paste. But the difference in this one is obvious. Obviously, Daredevil is
They
involved
fit a
in
typical bank robbery episode into the Daredevil.
Yeah,
pretty
story. Much. So Daredevil is here. So at some point, the main robber, as most villains do, he doesn't go to see the plan through. He sends somebody else out to go down to the vault, to open the vault and go into the safe deposit box. There's another guy who's standing guard on the stairs. Matt is walking. He does the blind guy choke out. He does the typical cartoonish pick up the walkie-talkie and check in at the check time. It does the guy's voice, and somehow the dude you came with didn't recognize that this is a completely different human being talking to me.
Right.
I guess it was the adrenaline from the moment. But
I always thought just people's voices when they come through walkie-talkies just sound the same, no matter who you are.
Yeah, apparently, even with the accents and everything.
Right.
So what happens is basically Matt robs the bank. Matt uses his Daredevil ability to hear the tumblers, and
right. But he opens the vault basically because he figures out that what's his face can't. And if they're going to start shooting, he doesn't want anybody to get shot. So he's like, all right, we got to open the vault.
Right. So he opens the vault.
So he breaks into the bank with good intentions.
No, yeah. He didn't. He definitely didn't try to pocket anything.
Right.
But he goes in. They figure out that this is the lockbox that these guys are looking for. They're not looking for money. They're looking for this jewel. What's this about? I don't know, but we got to get up there because we've been down here too long. Okay, so they come back upstairs. The robber is antsy now. What the hell? Blah, 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 all this other shit.
Aiming rifles and stuff.
Matt is like, at the same time hearing, because they do it. Like I said, if you've seen any TV show or movie, you know what's happening. The other side, then you got the negotiator with the police, and then you got the one dude on SWAT team who's got all this money in the budget to do SWAT shit, and he's fucking itching.
He's
And at
waiting
some
for it.
point,
Right.
somebody's gonna say, "Okay, it's your time." So he's doing always that ticking time bomb where
I'm
it's like,
taking over this investigation.
"We taking over, we going in," and it's like, okay, so Matt hears them, they going in. All right, well, Matt is negotiating now with the main robber, and he's basically like, "Look, man, you got to chill. I'm trying to give you an opportunity. Let's let this be over with. You know what I'm saying? You can walk away, whatever. You'll get a little time, whatever." But basically, he's stalling because he hears the police about to come in. Police hit the doors, boom, 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 tear gas, smoke grenades, all
Right.
this other
And
yada yada.
the robbers actually had it. They pulled an inside man thing. Like one of the
Yeah.
hostages was part of the crew.
One of the hostages was
The
actually
female,
one of the lady, and
the
then
lady
the
with
main
the
guy
purple jacket on,
turned around, took his
or
shit
blue
off real
jacket.
quick, had on a cop uniform, put on the little cop hat because in a robbery situation, they always wear the little hats. So he put on the cop
Yeah,
hat.
it's for they wear the hats for the robbers to make it easier for them to disguise themselves
Right.
as police. Right.
So he put on the typical cop hat that I've been around police a little while. I'm from the inner city of Chicago. I've never seen the actual police wear one of those hats.
Wear a hat like that.
Ever.
Like at a
48,
ceremony.
40. I've never gone to the ceremonies,
Well,
but
I
48
mean,
years
like I'm just like you see them in movies and stuff like that. The ceremonies, right? They don't wear them
yeah.
out on the beat for the most part.
Yeah. Like, well, who would wear that? So yeah, but anyway, the guy walks out. He's a cop, and nobody asks, "Hey, man, what the fuck is going on?" So Matt knows he's walking out because Matt is doing the Matt thing. Matt
And he's
hearing
doing
his
that
heart.
right. Right.
He's Matt like, "Oh, this bitch walking out. Hold on," but I can't alert anybody to the fact that I'm a blind guy who can smell people and know where they going. So he says, "Oh, well, this guy's hurt, blah blah blah," and the guy at the front was like, "Stop it!" Hold on, police is front. But one of the other hostages was like, "No, that guy's with us. He was helping us." And they was like, "Okay, let him just walk out. No processing, no questions to be asked.
Right.
Not hand him off to another officer." They let Matt walk out onto the street.
No,
He
go.
looked
Yeah.
and
No, go to this. Go to this
he
paramedic.
looked
Go
around.
get checked out. Something.
Right, go get checked out or anything, or let me ask you some questions. Let me get your name, your information, something.
There's
He just
another
walked out.
iteration of this that happens in a later episode that we'll talk about when we get there with Bullseye. But go for it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Matt walks out, and like I said, he looks around, and then he just
He
follows
looks.
the guy. Yeah, he took a look. He was like,
Here's a rock. Right. Right.
so he follows the guy around the corner quietly, and at this point, he's super fucking pissed. Matt wasn't following this guy to apprehend him. He was not
No.
following this guy
He wanted to hurt somebody.
To exact justice in the eyes of the court in the state of New York. That son of a bitch got around that corner and he pulled some shit over his head.
He was like, grab one of the robbers' masks.
He tied that shit around. He was like, "Motherfucker," and went over there and went to work, and they started fighting. And the dude was capable of protecting himself, but not too long.
No,
And
it didn't take long.
at this point, we get the best injury so far in the show. Matt, the guy had fell back and he was like on some old scaffolding or something at the base, and he was kind of leaning on it with his leg out, and Matt like just jumped in the air and Jimmy snookered his fucking leg and like snapped his fucking bro.
It was brutal. It was a brutal injury.
I was watching that shit. I was like, see, this is what like you got to be a parent to understand the risk of that, because like your kids get older and they don't know they can't jump on you like that shit. It's like I used to sit on the couch, put my feet up on the table and shit like that. They just come up and jump on my leg. I used to be so.
You just made my knees hurt.
I swear, I
because you know you ain't fast enough to pull your legs back and put them down.
And you don't you don't want to hurt your kids, so it's like I'm gonna have to eat this. So fuck. So no, Matt fucked this shit up and just walked away. He went on and walked away. He didn't. There was nothing to discuss. There was.
Yeah, we
It
didn't
was.
even see any like follow up of the cops like getting that guy or anything, did we?
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
left his ass in the alley.
He most certainly didn't walk away.
No.
So Matt went on and left. The follow up to this scene is they did some fist shit in there, but then it was nothing of consequence. But Wilson has the his wife's ex lover trapped in that cage, so he go in there and fuck with him a little bit every once in a while. But Matt basically came back to the bank. He came back to the bank and he had a short conversation with Kamala Khan's father.
And left the jewel in
Thank,
his candy
thanked
dish.
each other, and then he basically left a priceless jewel in the candy
Which
dish that was on his
could this be
desk.
another like magical item?
I would
Seemingly,
hope that
you can just
because
throw in magic items at us.
it would require for her father to be an unscrupulous person, and I don't think they want to go that route.
No, no, no. I don't mean like him getting powers. Just like he puts it back in the safety deposit box. But does that stone come back as some sort of magic item later on?
I mean, well, there's a possibility given the fact that they never really said why it was being sought. So
I thought they like put some like emphasis on that stone for some reason. Like when they put it in the dish. I know that they showed us like it was returning it, but there was also like a it just like hung around and like zoomed in on it. Like
but it is Marvel; they love their trinkets, so you
they
never
sure
know.
do. They sure do.
But yeah, we move forward from that.
Yeah. So then
So
on
Matt
to
wound up. I can't. You know what? I have to. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I cannot remember if he eventually told her. I think he still didn't get the bank loan.
no, he
If I'm
didn't
not
get it.
mistaken, no,
Because
he
he
didn't
was
get
like telling him at the end. He's like, I know you helped, but I still can't help you.
it. Right.
Was
There's
it
pretty much nothing we could
right?
do. But yeah, no. So what wound up? We moved forward from there. What was the name of the next? The
Excessive
next one is
force is
the
the name of the next episode.
okay. So the excessive force title refers to the police basically being sent out as vigilantes to hunt vigilantes simultaneously hunting the Muse serial killer. And Wilson Fisk has not so much ordered for them to be extra heavy handed, but implied that that would not be a problem. Kind of like taking a leash off. But
Right.
Muse, fucking Muse, you start this one because I got a rant I need to go on towards the end of this, and I don't want to burn out.
No, so well here I'll just read the quick little synopsis off IMDb. Just kind of remind myself. Fisk learns the street artist Muse is a serial killer and assembles a police task force of crooked cops to stop him. Matt and Daredevil becomes involved when Angela comes to him asking for help, and then is abducted by Muse to supply the paint for his newest project. So yeah, she kind of finds everybody's looking for this dude, and this little girl, Hector Ayala's daughter, just finds him.
Niece.
Oh, it was a niece. His niece, right? She finds him, just follows him down there. I mean,
But she told Matt in the office that she know the last place that her uncle kept going to was that old abandoned train line,
okay,
and that he kept like her uncle apparently was already on Muse's tail and had been hunting them in that area already.
I think I might have watched this episode on a plane.
Yeah, that might help. But yeah, so basically, she came in. She had already hit Matt with the first dose of guilt in the previous episode at the
Right?
morgue when retrieving her uncle's belongings. Now she's showing up at the office and
Why wasn't the
basically
wife retrieving the belongings? Never mind.
because
Why was
she's
that his
not a
niece?
fucking hero. Yeah,
Okay.
because if something happened to me, I'm pretty sure my wife would send my niece and nephew.
Right.
So plus the wife was she was pretty pissed off. She probably didn't want to nothing had have nothing to do with him. But because he didn't buy her a house. But
Oof.
she came to the office and she was asking for justice. Matt told her there's nothing he could do. She pled with him that she didn't have any faith in the police once again. and that they're not gonna do anything. And this Muse character might have had something to do with her uncle's death, and basically, she told Matt, "I know where my uncle was going." So,
Did,
Star White, and I'm just gonna go into my rant a little bit early, but it's not gonna be long. She, a teenage girl in big ass New York, walks down into an underground subway line that is abandoned to find a serial murderer.
right. By
Now,
yourself.
that
Alone.
in and of itself is fucking dumb. But this girl has two things working in her favor. She lives in a world of superheroes. Remember, people, Thor exists in this world.
He does.
Spider-Man exists in this world. Luke Cage exists. Jessica Jones. I mean,
Iron Fist, if we
She-Hulk.
really want to get like, RPG.
She-Hulk might have been at a case down the hall in the same courthouse that she was in on her uncle's trial. You got Danny Rand, Iron Fist. You got fucking Colleen Wing. You got a billion fucking superheroes, and she has a mystical amulet that would grant her
And
superhuman strength and abilities.
you would think at the very
So what
least
is
she'd have put that on before she went down there, right?
Oh, had it in a fucking pocket, even if you felt like a poser, just happened to be wearing it out of respect for your uncle. It's something goofy like that. But they chose to go in. This I'm not blaming the kid because she's a character that was written this way. I'm blaming the
And
people who wrote this shit. Come on, bruh. You had her go down here. Okay, so anyway, she found Muse in the
right.
same way that the fly finds the fly paper. So you see her walking, and then you see Muse walking with her body.
Yeah. Carrying her to his lair.
So
Right. Well, and somehow or
you
another,
know,
Matt catches wind of her being missing, right?
somebody said some shit about her not coming home, some goofy shit. I don't know. I was so upset that she was walking down there by herself without the thing. My brain probably shut down to preserve itself. But they were cutting in back and forth in between Muse starting his process on her. She's like regains consciousness for a second. She sees the bodies he has hanging from hooks on the ceiling and stuff like that. But on the same note, I think they were flashing between that scene and the scene of Fisk um like fucking with dude in his dungeon. I can't remember exactly what it was, what that situation was.
Didn't
But
he like open the door and like give him a fucking axe or something and say like, "Come on with it"?
well, something happened right before that though. Before that happened, to provocate that situation or provoke that situation. But basically, Matt is Daredevil, and Matt was like, "I got to spring in action, bitch." So he puts the suit on. He went to the case. He takes the suit out. He's all right. This is our moment.
Goes to his like
Daredevil is
hidden
fucking
lair on the roof.
yeah. So Daredevil is fucking here. So here we go. So Matt springs into action, and he gets there pretty fast. But to be fair, they did lay the tracks for this. No pun intended. But she did come and tell him specifically where she
Where
would
was that? Yeah, right.
search.
So that's
So,
why he went exactly to that spot. And then
but Muse apparently has supernatural hearing as well because for some reason, out of my sense of also, oh my god, why did I just remember that? Muse heard something going on, and he stepped away from his secret underground subway layer to walk out and look down the tracks to see fucking Daredevil swinging in, running towards him.
right.
from a distance, but he was running towards him, and he was visible because there was a train on the abandoned line. But never mind, fuck it. Anyway, point. This is a train.
Yo, right. A train did keep going by on the way. Like
Yeah,
it was, he was walking. He was like, there was always like a
yeah.
train like going by. I thought it was
Hmm.
supposed to be an abandoned line. Maybe like down farther into it. Like you
Yeah,
got to
maybe they
pass an
just had the
unabandoned
station.
line.
Yeah, maybe it was the station shut down. Maybe they was going to clean the trains and stuff. I don't fucking know. But the point is, it was good cinematically, thematically, fine, but continuity wise, it was kind of dumb.
Jeez.
But so fucking Daredevil is running towards him. Uh, didn't he like throw his like bolo whip or some shit like that? Or something he like and Muse like ran in there or something. At this point, Muse has already had stabbed the girl with the fucking syringe, and he was
He was
draining
already
her
like,
blood.
yeah, it was already taking her blood out and
Yeah,
making us
she
paint.
was on her way. She was on her way out. So
So
Matt shows up.
they had
Good.
pointed out somewhere at some point in time about his paintings that he had like mixed the blood with like epoxy or something to where it like wouldn't come off. Like you couldn't rinse his shit off. You
That was
couldn't
the scene
wash
I
it
was
off.
thinking about. That was the scene I was thinking about. Mayor Fisk was having a meeting with his top aide. She brought
Okay.
in the head of the Department of Sanitation. He
Right.
told Fisk he could not clean the Muse murals because it is blood and it won't wash off. And why won't blood wash off? Because apparently it is he mixed it with some sort of resin epoxy mixture, and it was there, and it's going to take a lot more to get it down. And Fisk is upset about this because he's being pressured in this situation. um the cops are pressuring him, his top aide is pressuring him, and I'm almost certain Tony Soprano, this was after he had found out Tony Soprano's kid had leaked some information to his girlfriend on a story about the mayor, and he was quite upset at this point, and he was under the same pressure that Matt was. He wanted to handle things his way. He wanted to crack some heads, but instead he stayed with the law. But at this point, Daredevil is down here to save this kid, this fucking dumb kid.
Right.
And so Daredevil goes to war with Muse while simultaneously trying to save this young lady. It is a very good fight.
It is. Pretty good
I
fight.
don't. I do have to say
Hey,
I'm
damn,
a
stop.
little I'm a little bit torn because one, in martial arts, as martial arts is presented in cinema, usually the superior fighter has a super fucking easy time taking out somebody. Even though this kid, eventually we find out that this kid was trained in like judo or some goofy shit,
That was
but
Taekwondo.
taekwondo would have got his
Something.
ass whooped. But the point is, this kid can fight, but I don't think his skill level should have been high enough where this fight should have lasted more than 15 seconds maximum. Matt should have came, and plus it's a kid's life on the line. Just go in for the kill shot. Just go in early and just try to take this guy's fucking frame of like existence and shift that shit to the left. But Matt came in and he wanted to
Banish
have a
him to
fight.
the fucking nether realm and shit.
Right. And Matt wanted to come in and get his ass whooped and stabbed 45 times because this is how he feels anything, baby. So so Matt is this is the only way I can get hard, baby. It's like I gotta go home with my girl, so I gotta get stabbed 17 times. So Matt goes in, they have this fight, music slashing, Matt is kicking, jumping, flipping, kicking, getting stabbed.
He eventually gets his
He
like bolo
eventually
whip around his neck and like pulls him up on the ladder and is like
Yeah,
choking him out.
like he's gonna string him up.
Hmm.
So eventually, Matt does retrieve the young girl.
Well, it's like he
Right.
like he's got him strung up and he's like listening to her heartbeat and he has to like let him go to go save her, and that's when
Mhm.
Muse gets away.
And Muse gets away. Now, Uh, unironically, the police show up because, of course, but Matt takes off. The young girl is saved. She lost a lot of blood. The police find Muse's hideout. Now Muse is on the run.
The whole
Matt is
city's
cut
looking for
up.
him at this point now.
Yeah, and Matt is cut up and hurt, but he's back at home. He's doing his daredevil, put some bacitration ointment on his shit, and he's still juggling his career, his vigilanteism, and his relationship with his therapist, who's his girlfriend. And I,
Well, he
I
doesn't let
want
her pry too much as a therapist. She tries, but Matt
to.
being Matt.
Well, she has some political views that he doesn't agree with, so I don't think
Well,
he
she
wants to.
agrees with Fisk.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to broach that topic too much with her, so he don't want to talk about anything outside of their relationship usually. And but it's a good little dynamic they got going. I like that. So moving forward, basically the young girl didn't die. Obviously, she's a future Avenger. She is not an Avenger. She's a future crime fighter. She is canonical. So next we move on to Wilson Fisk, who is you're gonna have to hit me with a little reminder here. I
We
wanted
moving
to
to the
say
next episode.
I just wanted to say I think the next thing he did was I want to say the next thing he did was actually to go down into the dungeon and basically tell the dude that was tapping his wife. He did the fist story when I was a little boy, all this shit. My dad said this, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically amounted to here, I'm going to unlock the cage. If you want something in life, you got to fight for it. And dude thought Fisk was finna come in and chop him up with his fucking axe. And Fisk was like, here. And he tossed him the axe. Like, all right, you want to get out? You got to get out. And
Right.
dude was like, you're fucking crazy, bro. Fucking freaking out, man. he, did, he did not want to fight, but he went on and tried to fight, and it was all for naught. And see, this is what I'm saying. I get it that this guy was a personal trainer or whatever the fuck he was. But when you can show Wilson Fisk handle somebody with an axe like that, I understand character wise you trying to build him up, but I need you to like Matt shouldn't be like struggling in a fight with this dude who took like 3 weekends of karate when he was a kid. Like you should just beat the dog shit out this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like Matt should have came in and like literally took this dude apart in like five
You
seconds.
talking about Muse, or you talking about
You
the
Muse,
bank robber?
yeah,
Okay.
Muse. I don't. It's in a hand-to-hand combat. The only person who should be fighting Matt for a prolonged period of time is somebody that's superhuman like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, or somebody that's a highly trained martial artist
Like
like
Black Widow,
Amy Rand,
Taskmaster.
Black Widows, one of those type of monsters. Like we'll have a fight with them, but when you just fighting a dude who could fight a little bit, there's a
Yeah, but
it's
was it?
kind of
Didn't he
like
say like he was like nationally ranked? Like he was up there in Taekwondo. This
I
comes in this
only
this
because I
upcoming.
know there's no Taekwondo practitioners who's going to see this. I think I told you this on the phone. Taekwondo ain't that good in an actual fight. It's just not. Unless somebody plan on standing back and giving you room to operate and you can get all your shit off.
I'm not really sure. Is it? Isn't it? Is it? No, that's Muay Thai. Muay Thai kickboxing.
Muay Thai is the kickboxing. Taekwondo is akin to that, and only in that it's more centered on using your feet as weapons, but you're still basically kicking. Not saying that you don't throw punches and blocks and shit like that, but it's just the focus there is more of a style of kicking. And Muse, I just want to point out, he did not fight in that style. That's a whole nother story.
No,
But
that's
still, at the end of the day,
listen. They made it a point to, and I know we're skipping around the episode here, but they made it a point to have him like give us a little side story about the Taekwondo.
yeah.
And like, yeah, like never used it. Like, I know, listen, I'm sitting here telling you right now, I don't know what Taekwondo is. I don't know what it is when I see it. I know that wasn't it.
Anybody, when you get a chance, just hop on YouTube or anything. Just look up some videos of Taekwondo. You'll understand what I was saying. Like he might have, Matt should have. I'm just trying to keep it short and simple. Matt should have taken him apart. Even world champion level, this is a guy who's a trained assassin. There's differences. There's different levels. It's like the guy who's really good, who's nationally ranked in your gym for basketball. If he plays somebody in the NBA, there's a difference. There's just levels to this shit, as they say. And Matt,
Matt was
uh,
trained by what Stick, right?
yeah, these are people who train for life and death situations, not for breaking bricks in front of an audience.
Right.
This is a different type of martial art. Like I'm training so that you can't stab me in my neck, face, and back and throat.
I mean,
I'm trying to
right.
live. You see what I'm
My
saying?
neck, face, back, and throat.
I'm training to
Dude, like
live.
the,
You're
yeah.
training to break a
I mean,
brick.
Matt,
It's
like,
different.
okay, so it basically, the episode basically turns into a race between Fisk's new task force and Daredevil to find Muse.
Right. They're looking for Muse.
And somehow or another it comes around to they kind of they figure out who he is somehow or another.
Well,
How
um,
I can't remember how they got to the fact where they were going to her office.
they figured it out because they were looking for a certain profile, a certain demographic, somebody who would be trained in certain things, somebody who was into the arts, things like that. They just cross reference people in the system, and they said we need somebody to fit a certain psychological profile, if I remember correctly, and then they wanted to call her specifically. You understand? They wanted to go and get information on somebody through her. And either way, the end of the day, they basically figured out that this was Muse. But Cherry also figured out uh, that this kid might be Muse. And this kid shows up to his regular therapy session with his therapist, who happens to be Matt's girlfriend.
Right.
And he basically just sits there and confesses it. He starts talking slightly cryptically, which led me to believe in this scene. I thought that he was just gonna like say some shit and then scare her and walk away, and then she was gonna call somebody. But first he was real cryptic. He was like, "The world is finally gonna see me, the real me, and all this other shit." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm thinking he's saying some shit to lead her on, and she was like, "Oh shit, this nigga might be Muse. I'm gonna call the police as soon as he leave." But no, Brody wasn't. He was like, "Nah, bitch, they shut down my subway station. I gotta. This it right here. We about to do it. We about to get it cracking." So yeah, this was a dope ass scene. This was fucking phenomenal. I loved it because he basically attacked her. She couldn't get away, and she's not what do you call it? She wasn't like, she ain't no bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's a fighter, not like a physical martial artist, a boxer or anything, but she has the fighting spirit. She's not a punk. She's not a rolo or a pushover. So
What was the
she
line that he said to her? Like, I know the thought going through your mind is like, can I make it to the door before he gets
can
me
I
or
get
something
to
like
the
that?
door? Right. Can I get to the door before he get to me? Because if you ever been in therapy, especially for your mind, if you might be crazy, I don't know. I just heard, but they usually have people sitting by the door.
Right.
The doors, they're not that far away, especially if you like my side, for instance. I don't know. So the point is, the guy attacks her, and they get to scrapping. You know what I'm saying? But he handles her pretty quickly, and he's about to do the bloodletting ritual. He's gonna cut her arm or whatever. And I guess he was gonna
He
make a
does.
display with her right there in the office. No, he cut her right
He
in
cut
the.
her, yeah, her
But I
arm.
think he was. I don't think he was gonna drain her. Obviously, he didn't have all his equipment and shit. I think he was just planning on making her some kind of a art piece right there, like in the office.
In the office, yeah, because he had the sheet
Yeah,
with him and everything. Like, like
yeah.
I think
He
that
laid
was
out
going
the
to be
sheet
his
on the
canvas.
floor.
Yeah,
And he was about to get to work. And what he didn't know is that Matt don't give a fuck. So Matt didn't come and ring the doorbell. He didn't set up an appointment. He
well,
didn't talk to people at the front desk. Matt came through the window.
I think it was like the
Miley
sirens.
Cyrus.
Like the sirens interrupted his process. Like, and he got up to go look out the window to see what's going on, and Matt was just like, "Bam!" He just
Yeah.
busted in and
Matt
whooped
came
his
through the window
motherfucking
like Miley,
ass.
Miley Cyrus and got the getting all
Wrecking
up in
ball,
there.
like it was. He whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Daredevil came in there and put the fucking stank on him. That shit was
Which
ugly.
says to me, he really didn't care about that little Mexican girl. hey, hey, Matt was like, this little stupid bitch came down here by herself. Ain't nobody tell you to come in here. No, so
And the
Matt was
gun
like,
was Muse's, right?
I think so. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, did she go in her purse to get it and he took it from her? I can't remember. I have to
It might have been
rewatch it
something like that. I have to rewatch
in
it
a
too.
couple of
But
weeks.
okay, so check it out. Like and I know, and I don't want to go off too much on a tangent about it, but like to me, like, and again, I'm not an expert on the comic books, but to me, they botched a pretty good villain.
You felt like he shouldn't have been like Ironmonger, not a one and done.
No, right? No, I don't think he should have been one and done. And they didn't even like use his powers. Like in the comic books, he can't be detected by Daredevil. Like
Right,
Daredevil can't hear his heartbeat. He can't track him like that, which I think is a
right.
super interesting thing that they were just like, nah, we're not going to use that. We're going to do
I
it. We're going
think
to end it right here.
I think it's a little okay. Oh, excuse me. My apologies. I think it's a little irresponsible of Disney Marvel to introduce a character but not properly represent the character. It's a little irresponsible, but it is their IP, so I can't really argue with it too much, especially with a character that's
Fair
not a
enough.
legacy character. Like
Right.
Muse is fairly new in the comics, but
Sure, sure,
like you
sure,
said,
sure.
it would have been more interesting to see him actually utilize those abilities against Daredevil.
I think so too.
I would have, I like when you told me about it before because I wasn't familiar with the character, but you told me about it before I saw him on the show, and I was excited to see this shit. But I think it's irresponsible for them to do it, but at the same time, because of where the show wound up going after that, I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, it's okay.
It's like
it's not breaking
it
my bank too
kind of
much.
made
I
up
believe
for
me.
it.
That doesn't hurt my feelings too much. But the first
Yeah,
meeting between Muse and Daredevil in the comic books, it's like Daredevil, like Muse, like lets him find him, and like Daredevil comes down and he's like, and Muse is like, "Did you like my painting?" And Daredevil just throws his fucking baton at his face, dude. And Muse catches that motherfucker and breaks it in half and throws it off to the side. Like
like with
Muse
Taekwondo.
can fight like a motherfucker in the comic books. I just
Yeah,
I think this is something that like I don't know they could have stretched over more of the season. But I
yeah.
guess like there's
I liked
yeah
them, and I thought that that's what we was gonna be dealing with for the season. I
was
thought that it
Muse
was
right
gonna
yeah.
be back and forth between the two during the whole season. But
Do you
what
see that
wound
this
up
is like the
happening?
writers like it was just so discombobulated at this point that they couldn't smoothly tie everything in at the end like they had to wrap up the Muse storyline to move on to what
I
we
don't know.
got.
I didn't follow the pre-production or the post-production on this, so I'm not sure if they went in to do rewrites or reshoots or anything.
They did like like after Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox approached
Oh yeah,
the
you did tell
writers
me. You said that they
and said that
told
they
them.
didn't like it and they didn't like the direction it was going. So there is a lot of, but they did keep a lot of the old footage. So there is, I think the bank robbery episode was like an original episode that they left in.
It does feel thematically, not thematically, that's probably the wrong word for this, but it does feel a little bit like a juxtaposition of the overall feel of the show. That episode felt a little cheesy, a little bit.
Lighthearted-ish, like
Yeah, a
more,
little
yeah.
lighthearted. Yeah, a
Well,
little
especially with
stupid.
like the Kamala Khan's dad being in it, which like
Yeah,
that was a real lighthearted show,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's better. Yeah, and he got the little bobblehead and shit, and it's like, what are we doing? So no, so Muse is he's whooping Matt's ass back, and Matt's whooping his ass, but eventually the struggle goes
Hey,
this way,
man,
that
I don't
way.
remember the whole fight blow for blow, but I don't like Muse got maybe a couple of fucking good licks
No, I'm
in, but
saying, but
otherwise
they was
Matt was
like
whooping his
moving back
ass.
and forth to the
Yeah.
point. They was moving back and forth to the
Oh,
point
gotcha.
where
Yeah.
the struggle pushed them to where there was some separation between the two, and the young lady, the therapist, Matt's girlfriend, got a hold of the pistol and just laid his ass the fuck out.
She
She shot the
unloaded
shit out
fucking
of dude.
45,
She
dude. That was it.
she was like, mama, mama. I'm the only thing that could have made her shoot Muse better is if she held that bitch sideways. If she'd have held
Did
it
she keep
sideways,
pulling? Did she do one of those things where she kept pulling the trigger, like boom,
I
boom, boom,
can't
click,
remember.
click, click, click,
She kept pulling.
something like
Nah,
that? Maybe she
they
didn't.
didn't show it like she was in a state of shock or some shit,
Well,
but
she
she
did. She
definitely.
passed out right afterward from the blood loss.
Yeah, she was blood loss, but she wasn't in, like, you know what I'm saying, emotional. She was emotionally traumatized, but she was more angry than anything, which I thought
Yeah.
was dope as hell. So, but
Right.
this is where the writing is good, because
Okay, so I'm sorry, real quick. While you think of that, like at one point, Muse tried to run away, and fucking Matt shot him through the shoulder with the fucking bolo hook and shit. Oh my god.
but yeah, but this is where the writing is good, because we move forward from this, and what do we have? Matt is talking with his girl.
So
They're at home. No,
this
I
was the
just moved.
following
This is
episode.
part of the episode.
Yeah,
And Matt is talking with his girl in his apartment, or her apartment. I believe it's his apartment,
I think it is.
and he is expressing to her. She's a little upset. She's a little on edge, snippy a little bit. He expressed that he understands, and
Well,
and
and he's
she's just
coming at
like,
it from like he keeps fucking up, kind of, and like coming at it from a point of view like he was there when he's not supposed to be. He
yeah,
wasn't
he's
there.
speaking like he was there, and she's like, "You wasn't there," and he like, "I know I wasn't there." But here's the thing that I like about it is because you would expect that the man who's comforting the woman who was attacked and almost murdered, who had to defend herself with the help of a mass vigilante, you would expect that she would, especially a learned person, she's a person with degrees and shit. You would expect that she would say, "I'm just glad Daredevil showed up." No, she didn't even give credit to Daredevil. She lumped Daredevil in with Muse, and she stated unequivocally they are the same person. They're just immature little boys trying to feel tough, running around with masks on, hurting people. And he was like, "You surely couldn't put Daredevil in the same as the same as Muse. He saved you." And she, "I saved myself." Now, that's a little delusional because you were clearly about to be murdered. You did not have a plan. You did not have an out. He
Right.
was going to murder you. Daredevil intervened, saved your life. But her position on people with masks and mass vigilantes is so strong. She didn't give a fuck. So she like, "No, I saved myself, bitch. I don't like people with masks. They dumb as hell and they weirdos." And Matt is now offended, but he can't say why he's offended. And this is a beautiful thing, because if you've been married in a long relationship or just in love, if you feel like you're in an argument with somebody, but you can't tell them why you're upset, it's like the horrible place to be in, because you can't really move forward in that position. So you have nothing. There's no cards to play. All you can do is just shut the fuck up and eat that pain. So Matt is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to go. And she was like, oh well, I'm invited to this dinner with Mayor Fisk. So now he has a way back into the argument. So Matt's like, you're not going to fuck with Wilson Fisk. Like he's corrupt. He's this, that, he's that. And she like, what you mean? Nah, he a good dude. Ooh, ooh. And Matt like, wait, like he's still trying to figure out if she's providing therapy to Wilson Fisk. She can't tell that because HIPAA laws and whatnot. She don't want to lose her license. And she invites him as her plus one to the banquet with the mayor. And this is where he switches to that same Matt that I saw in the bank that came back to help Kamala Khan's father.
That vindictiveness.
That
Oh,
okay, you back. But yeah, no, that is not the vindictiveness. It's the manipulation, the manipulative nature of Matt Murdock. He's in the middle of an argument. They're diametrically opposed. They're on two completely different sides of this subject. He thinks mass vigilantes is cool because they can't all be lumped in. She thinks they all fucked up in the head and they all just little boys that need therapy. He thinks Wilson Fisk is a fucking crook, but he can't tell her why he knows this. And she thinks that he's actually a good guy because she's doing therapy with him. But she can't tell him because by law she can't. So Matt had found his way back into the argument, but once she had said that she had invited him too, he kind of just was like, yeah, maybe, because at that point he had already made up his mind. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to go and confront Fisk.
mm-hmm.
Now that's manipulative to me because he could have still said, I don't want nothing to do with dude. I'm standing on, you know what I'm saying? I'm standing on my moral conviction. I'm done. But he was like, yeah, maybe. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was going. There's no other way around it. But we go from that invite and that slight argument and we check in on Bullseye.
Right. Who's being moved into general population.
Now, who would call it?
And he's a former FBI agent.
This is an actual law enforcement officer / killer / assassin / maybe psycho. And
Maybe.
no, I'm just saying, but
Yeah,
they
right.
they didn't convict him as they didn't like if he was convicted or found to be mentally unstable or something like that, the courts wouldn't have put him in a regular prison. But yeah, somebody put the call in and had him move to Gen Pop. Now, when they came in, he immediately started saying, what do you mean? What's going on? I'm blah blah blah. I was told that I would be in PC or whatever. And they like, nah, man, fuck you. Welcome to general population. Just put them in there. And just like in all the other TV shows and movies, all of the prisoners just happen to be standing right there.
Right there, looking at him. Right.
At the entrance, like, yeah, come on in, big boy. And it's like, two things. I don't like this. I like the tension that it builds. I don't like it because he's a fucking super villain. He would murder all of them in the span of about 45 to 55 seconds. I think he could get it done in less than a minute. I'm just being honest. So to me, he's not in actual danger, but they wanted to paint the picture that he's in danger. This dude is going toe to toe with Daredevil, bro.
But he was also like they didn't take his restraints off.
Yeah, but that would just be another weapon for him.
Eventually.
You're talking about a guy who can literally deflect things off of other surfaces to pinpoint hit somebody. He don't really.
And even if they started kicking the shit out of him, Like it could turn out to be exactly what happened later in the episode. Knock one of the motherfucker's
Exactly.
teeth loose, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
He
You might
he
have
how
taken a little bit
everybody
of a
did.
beating, but everybody gonna get it.
They would have got about three punches in, and next thing you know, you gotta now somebody gotta mop all this shit up.
Now you got an
So
incisor lodged in your eyeball.
so basically, he puts in a call to Matt Murdock specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is informed of this by his law firm partner, and he instantly gets angry. He like, man, what the fuck you talking about? And why would he ask for me? And they like, look, we supposed to represent everybody. You said we represent everybody equally. Blah blah blah. Threw his own words back in his face. Matt goes down to the jailhouse to visit Bullseye. They have a very short conversation, which basically summed up is, I'm in Gen Pop. You got to help me out. Matt say, who hired you to kill Foggy? Bullseye say, I'm not telling you shit unless you help me out. Matt say, you deserve to be in here. Fuck you, eat a dick. And I'm not helping you, period. You killed my best friend. Blah, blah, blah. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. Dude's like, look, man, you got to get me out of here or you'll never find out who hired me. So
He
Matt took the guy back of his head and slammed his face into the desk. I think he gave him about 2 slams. I can't remember
2 or 3,
exactly.
yep.
So he slammed him, bow, bow, fucked him up. And then he said, guard. This is Matt screaming for the guard to come.
Right. He says, I started banging his head against the table.
And he's like, this guy flipped out, started banging his head against the table, blah, blah, blah. At which point Bullseye says, thank you, Mr. Murdoch.
Thank you, counselor.
Thank you, counselor. Yeah, thank you, counselor. Now, we don't know why he said that. It could have just been a psycho line, but what it turns out, that just happened to be exactly what he needed. Now, the question me and Jeremy had, and we were discussing, was,
Did
did
Matt do
Matt
this on
do this
purpose?
on purpose? But we find out, let's move forward from there, and we'll come back to that. So Wilson Fisk is having a gala, some kind of ball.
Mm-hmm.
All of the big wigs are supposed to be showing up. They come in to kiss the ring because even though they didn't help vote for him, they didn't help him run, and they did not fund his campaign. They all decided that now that his popularity is increasing, it might be time to start kissing a little ass. Some of them. Before we get to the ball, the black lady who is his campaign his number one advisor, I always feel like she's in danger. She informs him of something. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's not inconsequential. The bottom line is Wilson Fisk was a little upset, but then he turned around and he went with his instinct and his gut, and he promoted Tony Soprano's son to
Deputy
fight
Mayor
for
of Communications.
Deputy Mayor of Communications. Gave him a much higher position, at which point she was shocked. She was upset. She didn't understand what was going on. Why would you do this? He was super happy. He swore he would never like betray him or anything like that. Basically swore his fealty to him. And
Oh,
and then
yeah,
they
that's it. And I don't know, man. I think more and more like the shit you said at the beginning of all this with her might be end up coming true.
yeah, I feel like this was gonna happen. It's scary. But so what happens is we get to the ball. Now they running these scenes together. We start out the ball and it's just a regular party, rich people coming in, people taking pictures, and we see that Tony Soprano's kid and his friend, who happens to be a girl, not girlfriend, who's a reporter, she has ulterior motives, obviously, as to why she's so interested in Mayor Fisk, and she's trying so hard to get exclusive info on him. She thought that he was down with the cause like her and they were of one mind, but he's more ambitious to be in power than she is to be a person who speaks truth to power. So they have a dynamic between these two that's like a, I guess you would say this is a C story to the main story, but they're exploring that whole situation. Now we switch over and we see Bullseye is in the dentist's office at the prison because Matt has knocked his tooth out and he needs stitches in his face because they don't know he knocked his tooth out. They know he busted his face. So he's sitting in the chair. The doctor is examining him. He giving him his stitches, and then he said, "Okay, you done. You can get on up out of here. You can take this one back." At which point, Bullseye smiles, spits out the tooth that Matt knocked out, and spit it straight through the fucking doctor's eye,
And then killed everybody else in the room in like
and
less
then
than
killed
2
everybody
seconds.
else. Which is why I once again said, "Oh, yeah, he was restrained. He was at that point actually, well, he was about to be re-restrained. But the point is, that's why I said he wasn't in any danger in the general population. But the point is, he escaped because he was very upset. So he donned the police guard uniform,
This is
walked
the
onto
point that
the,
I was talking about right here. Like, how
yeah,
did he get on a bus full of other guards and everybody was like, "Who's the fucking new guy?" Like, nobody recognizes this very famous fucking prisoner. None of the
wait,
guards.
not just that, but if y'all have a system where y'all riding into the prison on a bus, it
Right.
would state the reason that you rode in with the motherfuckers you riding out with.
It just didn't make any sense. I was like, this dude just puts on a baseball hat and that's a good enough
So,
fucking
so the three
bullshit.
motherfuckers he killed. So the three motherfuckers he killed, they just ain't get on the bus, and motherfuckers ain't nobody was like, "Hey man, what the fuck is Derek? And who is this guy? He looks just like the famous guy we just
Right.
arrested."
Right.
Well, do do do. Like so the motherfucker gets on the bus full of cops instead of like I don't know hitting the gate somewhere. So he got a ride to wherever the fuck he got a ride to. I'm assuming it wasn't a police station, or else he would have had to awkwardly walk in there too. We cut back to the thing, and meanwhile, Cherry and all these investigations are going on, and they trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Kingpin is having meetings with people, and he meets with the swarthy young gentleman that look the old man who looks like he belongs in the most interested man in the world commercial. He's a swordsman. He's also a comic book crime fighter.
Right. Yeah. The sort the I knew he was somebody, that rich guy with the
Mhm.
good hair.
Yeah, he looked like he's the most interested man in the world.
Yeah.
So,
It's
so
exactly who he reminds me of.
but he sits down with Fist. Fist basically like, "Oh, I got everybody in this bitch kissing my ass. So here's what I'm gonna need. Everybody here to kiss the ring. You gonna give me some money. This what I need from you here. I need this money for the doc project. Give me such and such a million or whatever." And dude's like, "Oh no, you got me fucked up. My bad, bro. I was just here to, show some respect to the mayor. I ain't no bitch." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like, I'm not giving you a motherfucking thing.
Right.
And Fisk was like taken aback. He was like, "Wait, what? What? Like, no, everybody supposed to be here to kiss my ass. Y'all came here to get." This is his Stringer Bell moment. What Wilson Fisk didn't understand was there's there's an old establishment that play by a set of rules, and they've seen a lot of shit. Big strong guys come and go, dope dealers, kingpins, all that shit come and go. They've been through all of those eras. So like in the Wire when Stringer Bell was trying to go legit and start fucking around and mixing in with the politicians in the establishment and trying to go legit, they drained them fucking pockets. And then they basically kicked them to the curb because they let them know, like, we really don't need you. We the real gangsters here. So Fisk was like, he had his Stringer Bell moment. He thought that everything was going swimmingly, And dude was like, "Nah, bro, I was just here as a courtesy. I ain't give you a motherfucking thing." You know, what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
who the fuck you think you talking to, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
I like the whole like gangster thing, that the old school shit where he's like bringing everybody into the separate room during a party to like fucking
yeah,
shake
he
them
was
down.
doing it just like a mafia thing. Like, you know what
Just
I'm saying?
like
We could do
all
it,
right,
have one-on-one
your
meetings
turn.
and
Like
shit.
yeah, it was
And everybody's
it
coming
was
in to
interesting.
kiss the ring. But dude was like, "Man, you got me all fucked up, homie." Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
right,
I beat your ass. Like, dude.
right.
So I thought that was dope as shit because it's like that's realistic. Because in real life, it's always a bigger dog. Like, motherfucker, everybody ain't going, man. So meanwhile, Matt's girlfriend is running around the party trying to figure out Matt's not coming. He's an asshole. She's texting him, "Why didn't you show up? You could have at least told me you wasn't coming." The young lady reveals, the young black girl who's the reporter.
BB.
She reveals to the head of the police, not the head of the squad
No,
who's
the
corrupt, but
commissioner.
the commissioner. She reveals to him that, hey, listen, if you got some dirt on Fisk, I'll take it and I can write it under assumed. I can do it anonymously. I can take anonymous quotes and I write, and everything that I write is not under my name. I have a pen name because he was like, look, that wouldn't be smart for you to, you know what I'm saying? If you
Well, and
going after
also
Fisk,
she wrote the puff piece about the police catching Muse and being the ones to bring
right?
down Muse.
Because he didn't trust her
He
because of
strong
that.
armed
She
her into
thought
that.
he
Yeah,
right. He was like, you sold out to Wilson Fisk. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really fucking with you like that. She like, nah, I'm doing what I got to do to get in
right.
because what I'm really doing is trying to bring this motherfucker down. So if you got some shit you want to say, you can say it to me and we can do it anonymously. So okay, so when we got that C line starting to pile up. Meanwhile, a guy comes in and he's trying to get photos of Fisk meeting with people in secret in this room during this gala. So he's not really good at it. I think he had his flash on his phone, and he had the phone to the side, and he took a picture right as Fisk was coming out. So Fisk kind of just real smooth. He was like, "Hey, go take care of that." To the main corrupt cop guy. Oh no, it
Right.
was the second corrupt cop. It was the black guy. They cornered the guy, and they started to drag him out through the kitchen. The commissioner sees what's going on and he coming there and it's like, okay, he was threatening him. He was telling him he was going to fuck him up or something. He was going to make sure he never used his hand again. And right before he could injure the guy, the commissioner steps in and he said, hey, look, you did you delivered your message. Okay, now you take him downtown. You can, you know what I'm saying? You, if he didn't break no law or something or whatever, you do it by the books. And this is the point where the power play comes in, where he's has his moment where he realized he doesn't have the power he thought he had, and the head of the task force is like, "Hey, look, I mean, we work for the mayor. We don't work for you no more. You can't tell us shit." And then he proceeds to take the young man's hand and dunk it in a deep fryer
Jesus Christ,
and
dude.
fucking fried his hand. Yeah, because they showing you that they don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. They
The
do what they
the
want.
the task force is they're the Vic Mackey levels of like we're gonna fuck you up. Like
Yeah, they gonna do some shit to you. So they
right.
fucked dude's hand up, and then they told the rest of the cops, "Go ahead, take him up out of here." Now at this point, Bullseye has made it to the venue. He
Hmm.
doesn't walk in as a cop. He doesn't try to come in as a one of the guards or as a waiter or anything. He just goes straight to sniper position. But right before this,
And he would be
this
familiar with all of that, where they are, where they're positioned, where the best places would be. He would definitely be familiar with where to go and who to take out first. Yeah.
yeah. So, but before this, right before this, Matt had come in, and Matt is oh shit, we fucked the order up. I was rushing,
No, you're
but
good, man.
basically,
You've carried this entire fucking episode, so I gotta keep
but
going.
no,
Right.
Matt shows up, and Matt comes in, and he instantly starts rushing through the crowd because he's looking for his girl. He finds her. They have a short tete-a-tete, as they say, slight
Or
exchange
he
type of
says,
argument.
sorry, there's like 6 other people wearing your
Yeah,
perfume or something.
yeah. And he tried to, but he played it cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. It is what it is. She still had a little attitude, and understandably so. He didn't respond and let her know that he was actually coming, or if he wasn't. But he kind of smoothed it over a little bit enough to where they could start talking. But again, this is Matt not being altruistic, and this is not Matt being a good boyfriend or a caring partner. This is Matt using her because he's after Fish now. He is of one mind. He is singularly focused on Wilson Fisk at this point. So he's listening to everything and he's scoping the scene. He knows where all the tough guys are in the room. They show him listening to everything in the room. She's trying to have a conversation to get some clarity in their relationship, and he's not listening at all. She confronts him about it, and he said, "No, no, no, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
listening."
but
And
he's
um,
listen, he's
immediately
eavesdropping
goes back to
Fisk.
right. He immediately goes back to ignoring her, and at that point, he was listening to Fisk talk to the swordsman guy in the office.
Right.
And he heard what was going on with the young lady talking to the commissioner, and he heard the task force guys take the dude in the back, but he oddly enough did not hear them frying his fucking hand in the deep fryer because I think he would have done something about that.
Well, you think it was a little bit of like sensory overload,
It
maybe?
was a lot of things going on because you
Like,
had
and
music, a lot of people
music was
talking.
playing, and he was trying. You could, I almost think they kind of like visually represented that he was like shifting back and forth with focus and
Oh
having a
yeah, he
hard
was
time
bouncing.
reining it
He was
in.
bouncing back and forth, and plus she kept bringing him back to her
Right,
conversation.
right.
At which point he had to lie and say he was listening, but he immediately stopped listening again. But at this point, here it is. Here's the setup. This is team. This is straight tension. We have Matt. He don't give a fuck about his girl no more because she clearly don't give a fuck about what he is. She don't know she don't give a fuck about him, and she's
Right.
offended him. She don't know that he saved her life.
The most complicated of complicated
Yeah,
relationships. Jesus.
everything that's happening in this scene is all tension building. Even the black lady I said that was that I felt like she might be in danger of being hurt by Fisk eventually when he don't want to use her no more. She even tried to play herself back into position by talking to the Soprano kid by saying, we might have started. Basically, we started off on the wrong foot. You done a lot. I just really just didn't think that you was ready, and all this. Just kind of sideways apologizing for treating him real shitty, even though he was a shitty guy. He looked at her and said, when I first got here, I was worried about whether or not me and you would be on the same page. I'm not so worried no more. Basically telling her I don't really give a fuck no more.
Right.
I'm your boss. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't tell me shit. I don't care what you think of me. I know where I'm going. So we got that tension in that relationship. We got the tension between him and his actual friend, the black chick, the young black chick who's investigating Fisk and wants him to be on her side. We got the tension between Fisk and the other billionaires and shit in the room who basically either not kissing his ass or are kissing his ass. Then you got the police out here showing no respect to the law and the commissioner that's supposed to be over them. And then at the same time all of this is happening, you have Wilson Fisk on the floor dancing with his wife because Matt got so mad that he was like, I'm about to go and confront this motherfucker.
Like right here, right now.
And he said, fuck it, because she couldn't understand why he kept focusing on Fisk. And he was like, look, I'll just prove it to you. We're going to go confront him right now. And she's like, Matt, don't do that shit. Matt, like, fuck that shit. And so he walks over there, beeline towards Fisk. Fuck the tapping the floor with the blind stick. He ain't playing no more. He walking straight over to this bitch. Fisk sees Matt coming like, oh, fuck, we going to have to do this thing right here. I'm going to have to take the mask off, beat this boy to fucking sleep in here in front of these cameras and all this shit.
Right.
And fucking Fisk's wife, she sees Matt making a beeline towards
Well,
Fisk.
and he like through talking with the wife, he like put together that she was the one.
Wait, not
Oh,
yet. That
sorry.
didn't happen yet. She saw Matt making a beeline towards Fisk, And she was like, fuck. She cut him off, grabbed Fisk, and said, let's dance. So then, damn, here's the awkward moment. Matt just got over there with his girl. Fisk hits the dance floor with Vanessa. The spotlights come on. It gets dark everywhere else. Now they in the middle of the floor dancing. The only way to get back into this conversation, Matt turns around. This is his girl can't be panicked. She's a learned person, but this summer bitch folded up his fucking walking cane and dropped it on the drink tray as the fucking waiter was walking past. One smooth motion. You can't do that when you're blind. But he saw the motherfucker walking past. She didn't even question it. He was just like, let's dance. They go out to the floor. They start dancing. They dancing next to Fisk. He's eavesdropping on Fisk and Vanessa's conversation. Meanwhile, Bullseye's up top and he's setting up his sniper rifle. He's scoping out the scene. I'm sorry. That was right after this. What happened was Matt heard what was going on and he heard Fisk's wife about to confess that she was the one who hired Bullseye to kill Foggy. Because the guy came in, Fisk, one of his guys came in and had told him that Bullseye escaped prison and they don't know where he is. So she knew that, she heard that, and she was gonna confess. She was like, I have to tell you something. Matt heard that and was like, oh shit, it was her. And his girl was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, come on. And then he pulled the switch and he turned around. He's like, he grabbed the mayor's wife and was like, can I have this dance? And so Fisk was like, man, I'm gonna punch you in your motherfucking head. But he couldn't really do nothing because everybody's
watching, right?
So
and he's got to be Mayor Fisk right now.
Right. So his therapist grabbed his arm and they just started dancing. It's like, okay, we'll play it off. So she's like, what the hell going on? Ooh, she tried. And Matt is like, look, basically he confronts her about her being the one who hired Bullseye to kill Foggy. She's the one who's pulling the strings behind the curtain. And he thought it was Fisk this whole time, but it was really her. And she's in danger, basically. At which point we get a shot from above of Bullseye with the scope, and he's looking and he sees Fisk, and he sees Fisk with this woman. In my head, I'm thinking he's trying to kill Vanessa, and that he believes that the woman that Fisk is with is Vanessa because their backs are to him, and Vanessa's back is to him with dance with Matt. So he thinks that this is Vanessa. The tension was so high because everything was coming to a head all at the same moment. The security was moving the way security's moving. Matt knows it's about to go down. He's trying to get this. It's like we racing against the clock, trying to get this confession, get her to, say that she was the one who ultimately tried to have him or Vanessa and not Vanessa, Froggy and
Karen.
What is her name? Karen. He tried to have Froggy and Karen murdered, and she was the one who hired Bullseye. He heard the click, the round is chambered, and he was like, fuck. And right as he pulled the trigger, you see Matt dive, but he dived in front of Fisk because Bullseye was trying to kill Fisk, and he wound up shooting Matt. So Matt took a bullet. So Daredevil took a bullet for Kingpin to save his life. So where do we go from here?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's the day.
Finale, we get to see it. So this is the finale. So we'll definitely be back for that one. We'll be back on track a little bit. And
wait, tomorrow's the finale already?
I think tomorrow is the last episode 9.
Like, how does TV shows seem like they're going so fast, but our political arena in real life seem like it's taking forever?
It's because you got to look at that motherfucker on the TV every day.
It's the longest 4 years of all time.
Right.
I mean, no political affiliation. I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah.
Right.
Long story short, Matt, the hero, the daredevil, the
Save the villain
he saved Wilson Fisk, who is dead set on destroying him, and he is dead set on destroying Fisk. But in that moment, his true character showed. He could not allow somebody to assassinate the mayor,
of New York City.
especially especially because in his mind, in that moment, Fisk might have changed. She might be the one doing all this shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That revelation put a lot of doubts in his
Yeah,
mind and kind of flipped his world upside down right
yeah.
there. Because
'Cause it's
everything
like,
was he was so hyper focused on Fisk that it was hard for him to see the forest through the trees. And there he goes.
exactly.
He sees, and
And it's
then he
like
finally
it's,
realized it at the end.
he might actually be in at least in this case, he is an innocent man, and I
Yes.
cannot allow him to be murdered for something he didn't do. I already lost Hector Ayala. I already almost lost his niece. I lost Foggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've made a
Right.
lot of mistakes, and a lot of motherfuckers have paid for it with their lives. I cannot let this motherfucker kill this man.
In
And
front
he
of
did,
everybody in this public
yeah,
spectacle.
and he did not do the thing that I thought he did. So yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Well,
a it
also
was a
we got
crazy.
the coming together of Fisk and his wife in this episode too, where
Oh yeah,
they murdered
I skipped
they
over that.
murdered. It's okay. They murdered dude in the basement. She did
She did.
basically
That was
to
like, there was no day.
solidify. So like I kind of thought that they were going to take it in the direction where she was working against him, but they made it seem that way. And then with the assassination of the tracksuit mafia guy, it was kind of put to rest because she set
Yeah,
that up.
yeah, it was crazy because we had discussed that. It was like, did she actually try to have Fisk killed and he just had to one up? But no, she was working with him and she's
Yeah.
regaining his trust. He did tell her in this episode when she was talking about, how it was she was running the streets and she had everything under control, and he just reminded her, like, we still run this.
Right. It's
This is,
just
you
different.
still have it. It's just different.
Right.
We doing something
He's been
different.
telling her that the whole season.
Yeah, it's like, you got to understand, we moving in a different way, but we still the ones that's controlling this
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? You just got to trust me on that. So in that trust moment, he walked her down to his dungeon, opened the door, and she saw dude, and dude immediately started begging for his life. Like, oh man, could you tell your husband I didn't know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm gonna be real. This was fucked up.
Oh, it was real fucked up.
This
Real
this
fucked up.
this
But they've been
this was
in
bad.
this. But this goes back to the way their characters were at the end of the first season, and how he slowly fucking worked her into his world and turned her into what she is now. He's
I know.
responsible for it.
She's a nut. She's a nut.
Yeah.
Because he gave her an opportunity, like, look, here, you can let this motherfucker go and we can move forward. But I'm telling you, the thing that I'm trying to be, the thing that I am, I cannot be that without you. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot be me if it's no you. And she was like, I thought she was gonna reach for the lock and let him go and say, let's just move forward. She went and picked up the gun and shot the shit out of dude.
Right. Put it to
I,
rest. Right.
yeah, it's like,
Basically
look, it's done.
solidifying their reunion.
Yeah,
Or
we
so.
in it. And it was like, I just murdered him.
She even told the therapist, like, I don't think we'll be needing you anymore.
Oh yeah, at the
We've
party,
worked our
she's like,
shit
"Oh
out.
no, we good. We worked it
Right.
out. We good.
Right.
There's nothing else." So yeah, no, she basically, look, we blood for blood at this point. I know you done some dirt, but now you see me kill a motherfucker. So yeah, I know you could put me away. I know you could, you know what I'm saying. You can put the police on me. You can do whatever. I'm just as guilty as you. And also, I killed the motherfucker who I had affection for. To let you know, I don't have no affection outside of this relationship.
Right.
We all in at
We're
this
all
point.
in. And that's,
But
yeah. And she was
she
about to
wasn't
confess that,
completely honest,
right?
because she still hadn't let him know that she was the one who
The hit.
put the hit out there.
Yep.
But yeah, and she almost got him killed for it. Because Daredevil not being there, yeah, Bullseye don't miss.
No, he hits Fisk in the heart.
Yeah, To be fair though, Fisk probably would have lived through it. I mean, the motherfucker did get shot in the face in the last series,
Yeah. And
so
I I'm not
don't even have
entirely
a
sure
scar.
about like the science of ballistics, but I know that that was like it's a sniper rifle. I'm pretty sure that bullet goes through Matt and into Fisk.
Well, would have, but Matt had a strong heart.
Right. Well, you hit him in the shoulder, right? Not in the heart.
He had a daredevil rib cage.
Right. But anyway, so yeah, check it out. Come back, like, comment, subscribe, talk with us about the show down in the comments below. Come back. Next couple days we'll get the finale of Daredevil done, and then I don't know, we'll move on to whatever's next.
Yeah, and if you got any ideas, put it in the thing. Share this video for us because if it happens to come across your suggestions page or you happen to be already subscribed, go ahead and share it to help us get back on track because we kind of gonna need it. We had to take some time off because both of us got big families and we had a lot going on in the last couple weeks. But
Yeah,
we are gonna try to be
parties
on
and sports and all that goodness,
shenanigans.
right? And then work on top of that. So, all right, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. All right, young. I gotta
All
go
right,
to you. Stop. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm out. I'll
all right,
holler
peace
at you in a
out.
minute.